This is how you can make Zani the strongest DPS in a game.
So what is Spectro Frazzle? Spectro Frazzle is a stackable debuff, which you can see on them by the symbol or by the color. They get this golden mark on them, which is a pretty cool detail that does spectral damage to the enemies over time. You lose 1 stack of Spectro Frazzle every time an enemy takes damage from it. The more stacks an enemy has, the more damage the Spectro Frazzle will do. You can have up to 10 Spectro Frazzle stacks on an enemy, so try to maintain 10 stacks for the max damage. So how do you increase Spectro Frazzle damage? The damage from Spectro Frazzle doesn't depend on your crits, attack or other stats. It's influenced by your character's level, the enemy's defense, their effect res, and the number of Spectro Frazzle stacks they have on them. So make sure to level 90 your main Spectro Frazzle applier, and if you have multiple characters in your team that apply Spectro Frazzle, then the damage will depend on the character with the highest level on your team.
What makes Zani so special? Well, instead of waiting for the Spectro Frazzle stacks to deal damage over time, whenever a character applies Spectro Frazzle, Zani triggers them immediately. So yup, they do damage right away, and then they switch to Helical Embers, which is basically Spectro Frazzle without the damage over time, but it does boost Zani's damage, and it also fills up her second Forte bar called Blaze. And because her Forte is so important, the devs made it visible even when she's not on field, and also because you can fill it when she's not on field. So this here is her second Forte bar, which is mainly used to enhance her ultimate attacks. It's called Blaze, and when she's on field, then it's her second Forte bar down here, so this yellow one. And this one here at the top is her normal Forte bar called Redundant Energy, which is used to enhance her skill so it glows. Alright, let's just start out by simplifying her kit, and we can first start with her basic attacks. So she has a 4-hit combo that does spectral damage. After the third hit, if you hit that basic attack button at the right time, so when she sits on the chair, there's a small window where you can do her enhanced basic attack called Breakthrough. So now, and then it's the spinning attack here, as you can see. Bam. And after that, you can do another basic attack to do stage 4 of her basic attack combo. After basic attack 3, you can also trigger basic attack stage 4 by dodging and attacking. Alright, so throughout the video, I'll keep on mentioning chair combo a lot, which is, yup, guys guessed it. So basically basic attack 1, 2, 3, wait, hit, and then another attack for basic attack stage 4. To end the combo. Heavy attack, she consumes stamina to do spectral damage, and you can do a basic attack right after to do basic attack stage 3, and of course you can continue the chair combo here and then end it with basic attack stage 4. Mid-air attacks consume stamina to do a plunging attack dealing spectral damage, and again you can do a basic attack to do stage 3 of her basic attacks and end it with a basic attack for stage 4 of her basic attacks. Dodge counter, like always, dodge, attack, deal spectral damage. Her dodge counter is basically her third basic attack, so if you press the basic attack after dodging, then again she'll do the chair combo. And as always, don't forget to do an extra basic attack for stage 4 of her basic attacks. Skill, she attacks the enemy, does spectral damage, and enters her block stance. You can hold the skill button to keep the shield up, or just tap it to attack and to do a quick block. But if you swap off her, then her block stance ends. And if you do a basic attack while holding her skill button, then she can do her basic attack stage 3. Yep, again, chair combo. And she recovers 10 40 stacks and also freezes the enemy. What does her block stance do? Well, if she gets attacked in her block stance when you're holding the skill button, then she takes no damage and freezes the enemy, and then she does a counter attack which deals spectral damage, reduces the enemy's white shield bar by 5%, and Zani takes 30% less damage for the next 2 seconds. When you fill up her Forte in her normal mode, then her skill gets enhanced and it lights up. What does her enhanced skill do? You can hold her skill button to enter her ready stance, and in ready stance, Zani is immune to interruption, and yup, if you swap off her, then her ready stance ends. After her ready stance ends, or if you just tap her skill button instead of holding it, then Zani consumes all of her 40 stacks to attack the enemy, dealing spectral damage, but she won't get any extra buffs from when you hold her skill button. If Zani gets attacked in her ready stance, so when you're holding the skill button, then she takes no damage and consumes all of her 40 stacks to deal spectral damage. She freezes the enemy, reduces the enemy's white shield bar by 5%, and takes 30% less damage for the next 2 seconds. After her enhanced skill, Zani applies a stack of Helical Amber on the enemy, and she recovers 10 Blaze, her second Forte bar, and her Spectro Frazzle damage is amplified by 20% for 14 seconds. You'll get this symbol here above your Forte bar during its duration. So yep, you'll want to do this combo in every single rotation. Ultimate or Resonance Liberation. She deals an initial hit of spectral damage, enters her Inferno mode, which increases her Blaze from 100 to 150. But don't worry, basically, as soon as you use her ultimate, you'll get another 50 blaze. Her ultimate lasts for 20 seconds and it also enhances her basic attacks. So 25% multiplier increase. And thanks to her Forte, as long as you have more than 30 blaze, she gains 3 heavy attacks, which you can always see by the symbol here. She gains a 3-hit heavy attack combo. So heavy attack 1, 2, and 3 whenever you do a basic attack. And each of these attacks use a blaze. So blaze only gets used when you attack with her. Stage 1 of her heavy attacks consumes 10 blaze. Stage 2 consumes 20 blaze. And stage 3 up to 40 blaze, or whatever we have left above 30. Remember guys, if you go below 30, then it won't count towards her enhanced ultimate blaze attacks. For stage 3, every single blaze that is used increases the damage by up to 9.95% at level 10. Her skill gets enhanced too. It has 3 charges when you hold it. So charge 1 is when you tap it. Charge 2 is if you get interrupted while charging it. And charge 3 is when she fully charges it. And yup, the third one does the most amount of damage. And like her enhanced skill, she applies the same debuffs, but this time 10% instead of 5% white shield. But keep in mind that it also consumes 20 blaze. But that's not all. She actually also has an enhanced ultimate, which you can use when she has less than 30 blaze, which is marked on her Forte here, or after 8 seconds of using her ultimate. You know you have it when her ultimate lights up. And this is her AoE nuke, so big damage. But it also ends her ultimate as soon as you use this. Let's go to her Forte. So whenever Zani is in a team and one of her teammates applies Spectro Frazzle, then she makes them explode immediately. It does the exact same amount of damage that it would normally do, but in one hit, so you don't have to wait for them to trigger. So this is a lot better, saves you time. And she converts the Spectro Frazzle stacks into helical ambers. I'll just call them ambers to keep it simple. And of course she gains blaze, which is again her second Forte bar. So every single one Spectro Frazzle stacks turns into 5 blazes. So every single stack of Spectro Frazzle turns into embers, and she can have up to 60 embers, and each stack lasts for 6 seconds. And don't worry, the helical embers count towards the Spectro Frazzle stacks for the Eternal Radiant set. I already explained her Forte's enhanced attacks in her ultimate, but yeah, there's too much text here that doesn't matter. I mean, like, this is the longest Forte in the game, as you can see. Bam bam, it's a whole book. So it doesn't really matter that much, since most of the time all you have to do is just spam 3 basic attacks when you're in her ultimate's Inferno mode. That's it. Another important part is that these attacks deal Spectro damage, considered heavy attack and Spectro Frazzle damage. So yeah, you want Spectro damage 3 cost, heavy attack damage on your weapon and echoes, and Spectro Frazzle damage buff on your weapons, characters. Yeah. Alright, so what does her normal Forte do? Once you fill it up, her normal Forte skill button lights up and it gets enhanced. Okay, we already talked about this. How do you get normal Forte stacks? So she can have up to 100 normal Forte stacks in her normal mode. So you get 40 stacks when she hits the enemy with her basic attacks. You get 50 when her intro hits the enemy, so half. And also when you use her skill. So usually you just do her intro to fill her Forte halfway, and then do a skill and a basic attack, and bam, her Forte is full. But she can't gain the normal Forte stacks in her ultimate since she switches to her second Forte bar called Blaze. How do you get Blaze? Her second Forte bar stacks, with Blaze capped at 100 in her normal mode and 150 in her ultimate Inferno mode. So how do you get the stacks? Her enhanced skill gives you 10 Blaze, and every time you convert Spectro Frazzle to embers, she gains 5 Blaze. So yup, even when she's not on field. But remember, you lose a stack every 6 seconds. And of course, you get 50 Blaze once you use her ultimate, so you can hit her max 150 Blaze stacks. Intro, she attacks the enemy and does Spectro damage. Yup, that's all that it says here. Outro, she attacks the enemy, does Spectro damage equal to 150% of Zani's attack, and removes all stacks of ember that the enemy has on them, and each stack increases damage by 10%, and of course it's considered as Spectro Frazzle damage. And the Spectro damage dealt to enemies who are marked with embers is amplified by 20% for 20 seconds. Yup, damage amp, so it's better than damage bonus. So how do you activate a character's intro or outro? Well, if you look down here, each character has another bar called the conservator bar. You don't share it. Everyone gets their own conservator bar, and the value stays the same when you change characters. You can fill up the conservator bar by hitting enemies with different attacks. So each attack gives you a different amount of conservator energy, which you can always see down here in the skill details. So yeah, ultimate gives 20, skill 15. You can always check it down here. And once you fill up the conservator bar all the way, all of your characters on the right will glow. And once you switch your character, the character who's leaving the field will activate their outro, and the character entering the field will activate their intro. Inherent skill 1, when you use her intro, she gets 12% Spectro damage bonus for 14 seconds. Pretty straightforward. Inherent skill 2, when she's in ready stance, she takes 40% less damage. If you're confused right now, then don't worry. You will understand her a lot better once we get to her rotations. So for her skill priority, her Forte is the most important one since all of her big damage multipliers are right here. So you want to max this. And then we have her ultimate because of its final nuke damage here. And then we have the skill, the basic attacks, and the intro. But if you're low on resources, then you can just keep her intro at 5 or 6 since it can get pretty expensive with the weekly boss mats and it doesn't really contribute that much to her damage. So what I would do is Forte, skill, and ultimate, all of these up to 10. Basic attack can be left at 8, her intro at 5 or 6. Should you pull her weapon or Phoebe? When it comes to weapons, yup, you already guessed it. Her signature weapon is the best weapon for her. And this thing just looks gorgeous. So yeah, high attack, 48% crit damage, so easy build. And then we have even more attack here. And whenever you cast a basic attack, so basically everybody in the game can do this. She will ignore 8% of the enemy's defense, which is already pretty good. But it also amplifies her Spectro Frazzle damage by 50% for 6 seconds. So yeah, this thing is insane for her. And it's made for her. So I would recommend going for Phoebe first before you go for her weapon. But if you have the tragic comedy, then you can just go for Phoebe's signature instead of her signature. So basically get Zani S0, get Phoebe S0, Zani's weapon, Phoebe's weapon, Zani S1, Phoebe S2, and then we have Zani S2 here. And finally, if you're a whale, then yeah, go for S6 Zani. Her second best weapon option is Tragic Comedy, Roccia signature weapon. Same high attack, but this time crit rate, and you up 12% attack, and heavy attack damage bonus, which she needs. And she can easily get this weapon's full buff. Her third best option is Xiangliao's weapon. Same main stats as Roccia's weapon. Same 24% crit rate, and instead of 12% attack, we get 12% spectral damage bonus, and resonance liberation damage bonus. Her fourth option is the standard gauntlet, the Abyss Surges. Yup, same high attack, but attack as a secondary stat, and the ER here can help with her requirements. It also increases basic attack damage bonus and skill damage bonus, but keep in mind that most of her damage is heavy attack damage. So yeah, only give her this if you have nothing else, but I only recommend going for a standard gauntlet after you have the standard sword and the standard gun. The sword here has a lot of value, so it's very worth getting. As for the 4 stars, we have the new craftable weapon from Rina Sita. I wouldn't give her the 4-star craftable Legend of Drunken Hero since her helical embers stacks don't count as negative statuses, so they don't trigger the buff. And it's the same with the Nightmare Morning Eggs. Spectro Frazzle 100% increase here. I don't know if it's supposed to be like this or if it's a bug, but yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know. Next we have the Celestial Spire. You can't go wrong with this weapon, it's great for any gauntlet DPS. And then finally we have the Battle Pass Gauntlet, the Stone, and yup, crit rate. I mean, if you have the money, then it's a good stat stick. Here's a damage comparison between the weapons. And when it comes to echoes, her best set is of course the Eternal Radiant set. I mean, like, come on guys, they just added this part to her Forte. So they're telling you to use this echo set. So 2-piece, 10% spectral damage bonus, 5-piece, inflicting Spectro Frazzle, increases crit rate by 20% for 15 seconds. So you'll need less crit on your echoes. And if you attack an enemy within stacks of Spectro Frazzle, then she gets 15% spectral damage bonus, which will be super easy to get. So overall, a really great set for her. Now, if you for some reason don't have a full Eternal Radiant set, then you can just give her the normal Celestial Light Spectral set for now with the Morning Eggs until you get a full set. But yeah, this set is not as good, so only use it as a placeholder until you get the full Eternal Radiant set. So as for a 4-cost or a main echo, well, she's a bit weird here. So you actually want a 3-cost echo as your main echo for her max potential. And yup, it's a Capitaneous. So this echo gives you 12% spectral damage bonus and 12% heavy attack damage bonus as soon as you equip this echo. So yeah, really good. But if you farm the Nightmare Morning Eggs, it still gives you 12% spectral damage bonus as soon as you equip it. So she can't use the 100% Spectro Frazzle increase here on the Nightmare Morning Eggs. So the Capitaneous will do better here since it also gives you the heavy attack damage bonus. I mean, you already get a spectral damage bonus from the Morning Eggs, but yeah, no 12% heavy attack damage bonus. But this doesn't change much. I mean, if you already farmed the Nightmare Morning Eggs, then it's fine. You still use the echo here, just not in the main slot, so you didn't waste anything. But yeah, try to get a Capitaneous echo as the main echo for more damage. So yeah, for the main echo stats, we have 4, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1 or 3, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1. So on the 4 cost, we have crit damage or crit rate, depending on which one you need more. On the 3 cost, we have double Spectro. As for the 1 cost, yup, double attack. When When it comes to substats, you want 120% ER, crit damage and crit rate, attack percent, and heavy attack damage bonus, and of course, flat attack too. But if you already built your Phoebe, then congrats. You can give Zani all of her echoes, and just give Phoebe the Moonlit Cloud set, since Zani is the DPS now. When it comes to recommended stats, you want 2000 attack. Keep in mind that this scales with her level, so the higher her level, the higher her attack. Crit rate 20%, crit damage to 60%, heavy attack damage bonus 30 plus, ER depending on her team, but just try to get as close to 120% as you can to be good. So when it comes to her teams, I'll be honest, she's one of the characters where her teammates matter a lot, since her damage is not that good outside of Spectro Frazzle teams. So first slot, of course, we have Zani. As for the second slot, you want a Spectro Frazzle applier. So right now we only have Phoebe and Spectro Rover, and of course Phoebe, her premium teammate, is better. She applies Spectro Frazzle, amplifies Spectro Frazzle damage, gives Spectro rest threat, and of course lets Zani generate her whole blaze bar in a short amount of time without taking much field time. And if you have her weapon, then that's another 30% Spectro damage amp. As for Spectro Rover, bros free and super easy to build, but if you want to clear endgame content, then don't worry, you can do that with Spectro Rover. He or she is not as bad as you think. So she decreases the enemy's Spectro res by 10%, applies Spectro Frazzle, and with her S4 she heals the team. You can also do main DPS Zani, sub DPS or Spectro Frazzle applier Phoebe, and then finally Rover as the healer. And Rover actually does pretty good damage compared to Phoebe, or you can just do the classic Zani, Rover, or Phoebe, and then any healer that you have like Baiju, Arena, or of course the Shorekeeper being the best. As for the free to play, this would probably be your best team option if you don't have Phoebe. She has Zani, Spectro Rover, and any healer that you have, like the free Arena, but you can also do something else here. Rover as the healer, and then you can put Morifi here because of his outro, which amplifies heavy attack damage by 38%. So the reason why Rover works so well here is because he can apply Spectro Frazzle, and he can also heal the team, which Phoebe can't. So yeah, Rover will be the best here, and you can clear endgame with this team. So in this team, you want to give Rover the rejuvenating glow set, since he's the healer, but when you have any other healer in your team, then you want to give him the Moonlit set, and the healer can have the rejuvenating glow set. Same thing with Phoebe, give your Phoebe set to Zani, and Phoebe can have the Moonlit Cloud set. I mean, you want to buff Zani's damage as much as possible, and Phoebe doesn't really do much damage in her confession state. Alright, let's just speedrun all of her sequences. So S1, plus 50% Spectro damage bonus when you use her enhanced skill. Stage 3 of her ultimate can't be interrupted. S2, plus 20% crit rate, plus 80% damage multiplier. To enhanced skill, S3, damage multiplier of her ultimate. Final nuke is increased by up to 1200%. S4, intro gives entire team 20% attack. S5, ultimate initial hit, multiplier increased by 120%. S6, damage multipliers of all of her ultimate attacks are increased by 40%, and another 40% to ultimate stage 3 for every blaze consumed, and if blaze is lower than 70, she gets 70 blaze back once in Inferno mode. So yeah, longer field time, and within the first 8 seconds of entering Inferno mode. So ultimate, her HP can't go lower than 1, so she's like immoral. S1, S2, and S6 are the best. S2 is a good stopping point, so yeah, this is her damage with and without Phoebe. S0, R1. So when it comes to rotations, you first start by getting the buffs ready for Zani and applying Spectro Frazzle on the enemy to fill Zani's blaze bar right here. And once everything is ready, you do intro, skill, basic attack, enhanced skill for a 20% Spectro Frazzle damage amp, ultimate, and then you do 3 basic attacks 2 times, and then the final ultimate, echo, outro, and yeah, repeat. But if you're using Rover, then after you do Zani's first 3 basic attacks in her ultimate, then you switch back to Rover, since her third basic attack has a long animation. So yeah, switch to Rover, use his skill to apply more Spectro Frazzle to the enemies so that Zani does more damage, and then swap back and continue your Zani's rotation like normal. So yeah, it's pretty easy. So is she worth pulling? Well, to be honest, it depends on your account. Don't get me wrong, she can clear stuff with Spectro Rover and all, but yeah, she's locked to one team archetype if you want her max damage. But her gameplay is really easy. I know, when I first saw the amount of text in her skills, I was afraid too, but yeah, she isn't that hard to play, so go for her if you like her. Her damage is insane when you have all of the pieces in your hand. You can join our Discord server if you need help with anything in the game. You can ping the game helper role, and you won't ever miss free asteroid codes or events, or if you need help farming her echoes. If this video helped you, then you can help me by liking and subscribing, and yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Thank you so much for watching.